Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to some. Good morning to others. Of course, if you're going to be joining us via the recording, my name is Brian Louis, and I'm so very happy and I'm so very grateful, as always, for all of you that have made the decision to be with us live for our Immeri International Training. This is called Basic Training Fundamentals. And, I'm very, very excited about it. Immeri is headed into another stratosphere right now. And many people fail to realize it. But thank God for the perspective that I have. Thank God for the experience that I have, that I'm able to tell exactly when it is that there is a bit of a tipping point that's happening in our company. And so, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that can hear my voice and that are here in order to receive the information, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for investing in your future. Thank you for investing in yourself. Thank you for making the decision that the information that I was going to pass on today is worthy of your attention. And I pray that it is. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be our basic training module that many are going to be following in the coming weeks and months and years ahead. And so, as I said again, my name is Brian Louis. And this module of our training is going to be absolutely awesome. I believe this is going to be a key and pivotal moment for many people, allowing them to go out there and really build a big business here at Immeri. So not only do you need to have the right mindset as you are looking to build this business, because you should have the right mindset, but you're going to have to look at taking a step further as you go out and build this business. And so I want to make sure that, as we always do, as I may talk about some things that will be financially related or income related, we do have to make sure that we are upfront with you. You see, some people can take this information that I'm about to give and they can grow a big business. Believe me, these concepts are the concepts that help me in order to grow a huge business in this industry. So some people will come and they will take the information and they will go out and grow a big business and therefore grow a big income. But some people can look at this information and do absolutely nothing. Nothing will come out of their attention. Nothing will come out of this. So we can't guarantee any income here, but we can say that if you were to do the work according to the plan, do the work in the environment that we have here at Immeri, the compensation plan that we have in our company, this company will truly reward you for your efforts, and you get paid in direct proportion to the efforts that you put out. So I like to be upfront with people here, especially at this level, because while Immeri has a compensation plan to give ordinary people extraordinary results, I always believe that the truth is always good enough. And so, ladies and gentlemen, some people have been looking. They have been doing the work, but they have been looking for the right environment in order for them to go out there and build a big business. And I can tell you right now that what we have here is amazing. It is the solution that you have all dreamed about. You see, gone are the days where we just wanted to fill the positions on the board structures. We have already proven that Immeri can pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in income to people. We have already proven that Immeri can give cars with 100% ownership. So gone are those days when we just want people to come and sit on the boards and do absolutely nothing for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months and expect the types of rewards that come to people who decided to build a big business. And so I want you to take some notes. I had a great mentor who would say, never trust your fortune to your memory. Most people are looking for freedom. I often say that the lifestyle is what people are looking for. The lifestyle comes when you have time and money. Many people have a lot of time, but they don't have money. I was in that situation before, sometime in my life as well. Some people have the money, but they don't have the time. You see, there are many people that I know that are on this call and on this recording that can relate to that as well. You see, for me, I wanted to have the freedom. And thank God for this industry, I was able to find that freedom and keep holding on to that freedom. But I also know that there are a lot of people that just don't have the time to enjoy the money that they're making. So there were things that I needed to do myself to bring that together, where I can have both the time as well as the money and build up a good quality of life. And our company, Immeri, has been able to show that our system, outside of your own personal mindset, there is something or some things that you will still need to do. And you hear from time to time it said, your why. Your why. And so, what is your why? Why are you doing whatever it is that you're doing right now? And the things that you're doing right now, are they producing the type of results that you truly want? Are they actually producing the types of results that you truly want and desire? You see, I didn't understand this in the beginning. I was a bit confused, and I was saying back then, what is a why? What is a why? Nobody ever taught me. What did they mean by the word why? You know, sometimes in this industry, we get tied up in the lingo, we get tied up in the actual words that we use. You know, and there's a brand new person coming into the industry, or a brand new person that is joining our company, and they are not typically properly explained about all of these terms. Some of the terms and things that we have that sound familiar in everyday life, but they have very different meanings here. And what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it has a very different meaning here. And so for me, I knew that I had to get through an understanding of a why. And so my coaches and mentors would ask me questions on what I wanted and how I would go about getting what it is that I wanted out of the industry. But your why is not just setting your goals or whatever, but why should drive you. Your why should be strong enough to drive you through the challenges and the obstacles that may come your way. And best believe that when you're looking to do something amazing, when you're looking to do something great, it won't always be a smooth road to success. It won't be a straight path from where you are to where you want to go. There are all kinds of obstacles that are going to come your way. And sometimes I say that there are potholes on the curvy road of life. And so that means that you're going to have to now climb some mountains. You're going to have to be going through some curves. You're going to go through some twists and some turns. It's going to be all kinds of things, all kinds of detours, all kinds of things that are going to happen along your way in your career here at Immeri. But the key thing, the thing that will help you to get there is knowing that you are going towards your why. And so I had to have a why that was emotionally tied, emotionally backed up, a why that meant something to me. You see, your why has to be backed up by your emotions, meaning that it had to be something that is tied to the reasons why. Why is it that I want to go out and accomplish those goals? You see, there were major things that for me, I said, and one of the things that I can tell you for me, and for me initially, I had to find something. You know, sometimes you have to find a target, something that you can strive for and go for in life and give it your everything, give it your all. And one of those big things was that I was not going to let my family see me fail. It was just something that I knew in my heart of hearts that I had to do. There wasn't any doubt about it. Because for my family, for my mother, for my father, for my wife at the time when I first got started in the industry, for my daughter, you see, they depended on me. They were looking at me. They were watching. I often say that in this industry, people are watching. So for me, let me tell you about my little story. My mother had worked very, very hard. My father had worked very hard. And I wanted to do some things for them, as well as I was emotionally tied to the reasons why I was building the business. You see, I often ask people, do you have someone that you really, really care about? Someone that you really, really, really love? And I would ask them, who is that person? Is that your brother? Is that your sister? Is that your cousin? Is that your aunt? Someone who raised you or someone who poured into you? Whatever the case may be, your spouse or whatever, or whoever it is, your children, whoever it is, if something was to happen and if their life depended on it, if they had to do surgery or if they had to do something, and I don't want to wish anything bad on anybody. I'm just trying to give you an idea of how far you have to go. So if your loved ones' lives depended on you going out there and becoming successful in order for them to be alive, would you do the things necessary to keep them alive? So I would look at it, and I had to make the conditions in my mind. One of the things my former mentors would say was successful people create the conditions in their mind in order for them to become successful. I had to look at it and I had to ask myself, and I asked people. And let's say you had a person that would be on the street if they didn't have the money to pay their rent, or you didn't have the money to give to them in order to take care of them. Or as I said, they needed surgery or something. If you had to go out there and build a business, and we're talking about Immeri, if you had to go out there and sponsor 20 people, let's say in the next 90 days, would you find 20 people for them to survive? Because you knew that it would produce the type of results that you needed to keep your loved ones alive. You see, I'm using this as an example, but that is the reality of creating a strong why. And so over the years, a lot of people have come back to me and they said that, you know what, Mr. Louis? I love my mom. I love my dad. I love my family. When I talk to Mr. Johnson, you could feel how much he loves his family. And he would say, if that was the case, I guarantee I would do whatever it takes to ensure that they would be alive. And there were countless times that I said, you just told me that you're the equivalent of a diamond. That's how I know. That's how I know. So just from what I'm talking about and just what I'm explaining here. So the thing about this is that most people won't build this business for money. They won't. Most people won't build this business for money alone. There's going to have to be some reasons why you build this business. And so this is why, I would often say that if your why is strong enough, the how doesn't matter. If your why is strong enough, then the how doesn't matter. How you get it done doesn't matter. How you do it, we wouldn't even need to discuss that. Because if the why is strong enough, if the reasons behind your actions are strong enough, then the how most certainly does not matter. one of my former mentors used to relay this story about a lady. Now, this is a small lady, but one of her children would be trapped under a car. This is a true story now. And what happened was the mother, who was very small, maybe about 125 pounds, if you can think of someone, a small person. So she wasn't like a weightlifter or anything like that. But the mother saw that the child was trapped under the car. It was for some strange reason, I don't know, but imagine for a minute this child is trapped under the car. And my mentor would tell me that when the lady saw the child was trapped under the car without even thinking about it, she knew that she would have to save the child. And so she rushed over and she lifted the car in order to free the child. You see, that is showing what if the why is strong enough, what it means that the how doesn't really matter. Like I said, this is a true story. You see, she had a powerful, powerful, powerful why. And so just out of sheer will, instinct, willingness to do anything, she got the strength to lift that heavy car to save her child. There are so many things that I could say, so many instances that I can point to. And I could go over some really, really, really abnormal things that take place, but I think you get the picture. There are so many examples where people have done things or out of their will alone, their desire alone, that if you ask them to do it again, like if that lady had to do it all over again, she wouldn't even be able to budge the car. Because at that point of seeing her child under the car, she gave it her all. There was just something in that moment, something at that time, something happened. The adrenaline, the desire, the mindset, everything. All they knew was that she had a child under that car and she had to do whatever it took in order to save the child in that case. And so the things that I have to tell you is this: you need to go in and drill down and find your why. Most people in Immeri are playing small, just getting by, just barely making things happen. I can tell you they're sitting on the boards and they're not taking action. I can guarantee it because I see it all the time. So you need to go in and drill down and find what is your why. Are you building it for your personal freedoms that you're looking for? Are you building it? Like for me, I don't want my family to see me fail. It's all right to fail, but I would always say fail forward. Many of you would have heard me talk about that on our leadership call on a Sunday. You fail forward. I want people to see me, watch me go through the process and succeed and never give up and never, ever, ever, ever quit. And I have a why that this time I'm going to build a financial wall so strong around my family that they never, ever, ever, ever have to worry about poverty themselves. I want my daughter, my granddaughter in particular, to learn her lessons in life. I don't want to cheat her of those things, of those lessons, of those processes that she has to grow through. But I want to continue to be able to put her in a position in life where she doesn't have to start where I started from. She starts where I left off. You see, your generation should progressively get better. And so I was looking for myself to come to a point where I can continue to grow me and show by my example that this can be done. And you see, all of you on this call and this recording, you can do it too. And so for your life should progressively get better from generation to generation. And those were some of the things that emotionally tied me to my why. So for me, I want to see both my parents to continue to enjoy the fruit of my labor. And I want them to see me succeed beyond what I've already been able to accomplish in life in general. And I try to do as a teacher and as an entrepreneur, as my parents themselves who work jobs, owned businesses, and I wanted to be able to do it in a quick time frame where they can reap these benefits of a lot of the things that I was able to do for them. And so for me, my family is part of my why. So I look at the reasons why I wanted to build this business and why I'm building it here at Immeri in a way that it will last, in a way that it will cross continents, in a way that it will be strong. Because now it's not just extending my immediate family, but I have friends and family, Mr. Johnson, so many others that are locking arms and want to build something for their family. And so it has to be strong enough. My why has to be strong enough. And so I'm willing to go out there through the nose. And no matter who told me no and how many times they told me no, my why is strong enough that those no's don't matter. You know, like for me, I don't like talking to people. I was always the person who has to be introduced to other people and never want to meet new people on my own. I was afraid of meeting people. I'll never forget, out of the first set of people I sponsored, Mrs. Philodebra Fadipe, I don't know if she's on here. She said that when I called for the first time, when I started using digital marketing and I started to contact people that wanted to be contacted. She said that when I spoke to her for the first time, I sounded like I was very, very timid, like I was unsure of what to say to her. The truth is that I was. You see, I once had a mentor who was even worse than me. He said that he was the type of person who couldn't lead silent prayer in church. But he was a multi-millionaire. You see, for me, I wasn't that type of person that can meet people easily. But because of me having the desire to be better in creating something strong enough in the reasons why I would build this business, it allowed me to overcome the challenges that were stopping me from moving along. And I'm telling you right now, if you were to simply just take some time and actually go through that process and find out the reasons why that you are actually doing this business, that will actually do more for you than having to learn how to do more of the technical things that we'll also talk about. This why, as long as it's strong enough, it will take you way, way, way through the how. So when I had a strong enough why, it was easy for me to learn how to meet new people. Easy for me to talk to Emmanuel. Easy for me to talk to so many other people, to be able to talk to Ronald, to be able to talk to Stefania, to be able to talk to MSU. It became easier because of the why. The why was really what was compelling me to learn how to meet new people, how to virtually shake a new hand, how to talk to complete strangers and start a conversation with them. Because I knew in sharing a conversation, I would go through the numbers. And remember, I was afraid for someone to tell me no, but I would go through the numbers because I knew that I would have to find some people that had the good sense enough to see the opportunity. All you have to do is have good sense in order to know that this will work. And I went through that process over and over and over again. And at first I was really terrible at it and I burned a lot of people. I was absolutely terrible, but then I just got better. But it still wasn't as good as some people who were natural at it. Like Ronald seems to be natural at it. Mr. Johnson is natural at it. Talatu is natural at it. You see, I'm not a natural person at meeting people because I was always a very, very private person. Some people would call me a closet introvert, but that why is so strong that I'm willing to go out there and meet people all the way over in Africa, start a conversation with them. And I'm willing to go out there and show the plan, share the amazing benefits of our products, and I'm willing to go through the process. And you see, that's how I know that we're going to get there. You see, that's the technical stuff. The technical stuff is in showing the plan and all that stuff. But the reason behind it drove me straight through the nose until I found the yeses. And so what you have to do in terms of your why, what you have to do is you have to put together why. You will have to put together in terms of your why. Your why that is going to put you in a position where no matter what it took, no matter how long it took, you're willing to go there and go through that process in order to make it happen. And so I want you to take some time right now. Just get a sheet of paper. If you're not already taking notes, get a sheet of paper or take out your smartphone right now and do this exercise with me right now. If you're taking the time to be here live, or I said via the recording, again, I welcome everybody here who's joining me on this particular call. But I just want you to take some time and go through the process of making your list of the reasons why you're building this business. In fact, I'm going to give you this like about 60 seconds. Who are you building the business for? Jot it down. Are you building it for yourself? You can have multiple reasons why. But what are the things that you're going to be emotionally tied to in order to accomplish your goals? It may not be easy for some people right now to do this, but it's very, very important for you to do. This is what champions do. This training here is Eagle School. This training here is specifically designed for eagles. It's not designed for chickens. And I'm going to do eventually, I'm going to do a training where we talk about that, where we talk about chickens and eagles and the difference between them. But what I want you to do right now is I want you to write out the things that you're going to be emotionally tied to in order for you to accomplish your goals here at Immeri. Like I say, it may not be easy, but it is necessary. What would be the outcome look like for you to go through the process and build the business to the level that you choose to build it to? What would that outcome look like? Again, my mentor used to say, you don't get what you want, you get what you picked here. So what would that outcome look like? You also need to put down some reasons why you're not building the business. So you can go and look and see both sides of it. What's holding you back? But most importantly, I want you to look at the reasons that you're going to build it, no matter what. Come heck or high water. I'm going to go through the process and build it big. You're telling yourself that. So just jot it down. If you want, you could put them in the chat. You could also put into the chat, what is it? What is the why? What is it? What is it that you're emotionally tied to? So just write those things down. What are those reasons to go out there and build the business? Some people say, I already have all the money that I want, but I don't have the time. I remember both Stefania as well as Emmanuel and so many others, they didn't have the time. For Mr. Johnson, it's the smell of blood. He's an EMT, an emergency medical technician. It's the constant smell of blood in his nose that he can't get rid of. These things are emotionally tied to our why. And so some people would say that they already have the money, as I said, but it's the freedom. If they could just get some better quality of life, better lifestyle. You see, that's on the high end of the business, because there are people that are coming that have money. It's true. So it depends on what it is that you want to accomplish. So my reasons, for example, have changed over the years in my 8-year career. And the reasons I'm building it now has changed. I was doing it for my family, my spouse at the time, and other personal benefits at the time, as I shared with you, my parents. But now for me, it's more significance. How many other people can I get to be at a type of lifestyle that I've been able to experience from this industry? So I put those down. You see, I don't have to have any alarm clock to wake me up at 5 o'clock in the morning to speak to people in Nigeria. There's nothing pushing me other than my why. You see, I'm fighting every day. I've been working on this training for 3 days. Not even really interested on who showed up, but interested in more putting these things out into the universe to attract the people that will appreciate it. You see, I put these all emotional things into my why. So I don't have to have anything that's pushing me to do it. I'm still fighting every day. It's called going from peak to peak. It's a peak to peak principle. You see, at every stage of life, you will know that you're going from one peak to the next peak. And so it's called the peak to peak principle. And so I'm telling you, it's very important that you go through this process to be able to experience the reasons why you're building this business. And you have to go through that process. You see, I exercise this every day. And I'm hoping that you take some time to do it for yourself. This is what will separate the real champions, the real people that make money in this company. This is what will separate them. It would be the people that will make the decision to actually invest in the time that would allow them to discover their true why. So take some time to finish that list, okay? And so it will take you further along than any training that we could ever do. That's why I chose to spend so much time on the why. Once you get this why done, then anything else will just help you to move along. Because as I said before, when the why is strong enough, the how doesn't matter. So here are some other things that I want you to do. It's a process that you have to prepare yourself for. You see, you have to be organized to go out there and build a big business. You have to be organized. You have to build the business. And I had to find a way, for me, myself, I had to find a way to be organized in a way that I approach the business. Again, that is the difference between an amateur and a professional in this industry and this company. You know why we say amateurs join this business, but successful people launch this business. You know, when I was talking to Ronald, that many of you have heard me talk about, you know, one of the things he said, he put a date down. He put a date down and he said, this is when I'm going to launch my business. You see, we launch, we get the business off the ground with a huge boost of power and momentum so that we could grow a major business. And I'm going to show you the difference from just joining the business to launching the business. And there are some steps that you need to have in order to be able to do that. Okay, so the first step that I did was that I went ahead and I first built my list. First step is that I went ahead and built my list. In this case, you probably want to build a list of potential prospects and potential customers. Your customers don't have to be your prospects. Your customers only utilize the product. But the list of people that you're going to have as prospects are actually people that you're going to do an exposure to. At some point, you're going to expose them to the business. You're not just going to talk to them and get them signed up with your influence. You've got to expose them. You should always have a list of people you're going through and what we call is a pipeline. Right now, I could show you my pipeline. I could show you the list of people that I'm talking to every day, meaning that they are going through a point of exposure. Listen to me carefully. From the first exposure to the second exposure, hopefully they get started at the third exposure. If they need more information, and you just keep them going through the process, because what we know is that sometimes even in general sales, in that general sales cycle, the business cycle or whatever it is that you're trying to sell, sometimes if you look at insurance or real estate or any business, people who look at the opportunity for the first time, everybody doesn't join at the first time. Sometimes they don't actually make a move until to really get started after the sixth time that you touch them. Fifth or sixth time. Ronald will tell you. Stefania will tell you. Emmanuel will tell you. Every single person that I sponsored will tell you. I would just keep following up with them. I would just keep following up with them. And sometimes it's after the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, the ninth time that we talk, then they decide, okay, yes, I want to do this business. And so you have to follow up. But the first thing is the first thing. And the first thing is to build a list. That way you can have some organization to what it is that you want to do. One thing I do is that I know that the fortune is already in your pocket or your purse. The fortune is already there. The fortune is already in your pocket or your purse. Sometimes we keep our cell phones in our pockets, and I say, this is a perfect example. You have it right there in your hand. You have it right there in your hand. You see, what I have right now in my cell phone, in my hand right now, holding it in my hand right now, is worth millions and millions of dollars. Because this information that I have captured in my phone, in terms of my phone book or my contacts, I have high quality people here. And quite honestly, even myself, I have not even touched the people that I have in my phone yet. The Immeri business has been growing so fast internationally. Nigeria, Ghana, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and other parts of the world, on that side of the world, that I haven't even had a chance to get to my own phone yet. So this is what your cell phone would allow you to do. You see, this is what you call a responsible sponsor. I don't just throw mud up against a wall and see what sticks. I don't do that. I don't just throw people up and hope for the best. I'm very, 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 very careful with that. Sometimes you see, what I'll do is I'll work with someone and keep working with them, because sometimes you have to do it until it's right, and you're going to mess some people up sometimes, and it's okay to mess some people up. I'm going to give you permission to mess up some people in that process. So, but what do I mean by that? Your approach, the way that you actually approach them in the beginning, it may not be as polished as some people are able to do, but your approach is what you will be working out. When I was practicing, I went through so many people from the digital marketing. And so for me, I every time I mess something up, I mess somebody up, I knew that I'm going to get better with the next person. So whatever mental process you need to go through in order to keep going through different people, you have to do it. Some people would just say no. Some people just kind of disappeared on me, but it's okay. I just kept on moving on to the next person, and I learned from each interaction how it can be done tactfully. So the fortune is already in your pocket or your phone. And so you just have to know that they're there in this example. Okay? So now let's talk about the list of prospects, and I want to break this down for you. I hope that you're taking notes, and I hope you're getting value from this. We have very, very few people that have shown up, and it's okay. So if you're seeing value in this, if you're getting value from this, you could go in the chat and you could say, yes, you're getting some value, you're picking some value, you're picking some things from this. Okay. So now let's talk about the list. Let's talk about the list of prospects. And I want to break it down because I want you to be able to take this information that I'm giving and really be able to systematize yourself where you can go out there and be as productive as possible. As productive as possible. These are things that I live every day. These are the things that I've gone through over the years, and they've created major success for me on a personal standpoint. Okay, these are things that I've gone through that have allowed me from a duplication standpoint to become successful. And so I'm going to give you the system that we call the 4-checker system, like a check mark, like an actual check. Okay, you see here like an actual tick, like a check mark. Okay, and so the first of the 4 checkers is in the 4-checker system is the person on my list coachable, teachable, and trainable. Are they coachable, teachable, and trainable? You see, you don't negotiate on that one. I'm very proud to say that all of the people that I'm working with who have chosen to work with me, they're all teachable, coachable, and trainable. You see, I don't want anybody who is non-coachable, teachable, or trainable. That's really like an anchor in your sailboat. They're dragging you along. How you can tell typically is if you keep offering ideas to them and they keep telling you, yes, I know, yes, I know, yes, I know. You don't want that. That's like hitting your head up against the wall. Okay, you don't want anchors in your sail. What you need is wind beneath your wings. And so for me, when I'm looking for people that are on my own list, if I know them already, if there are 4 checkers that are coming to me, what I'm looking for is I'm looking to see if they're willing to paddle on the boat. Like if we're all in a boat together, if they're willing to paddle with me. So you've got to see if they're willing to paddle with you, if they're willing to push forward with you. You're looking for those types of people, not people that you have to sell them their own dreams, that you have to push them to really create a why. They should really have a reason why, as we talked about earlier. They should already have the right mindset of becoming successful or utilizing your platform, whether you're doing the presentations or using our presentation format, whatever it is. But whatever it is that you're offering, it should be that they want to grow themselves a big business. It should be more about them, in other words, than it should be about you doing them a favor. You're not looking for people to be doing you a favor. They should be looking to do the business they shouldn't be looking to do the business to be kind to you. They should be looking to do the business in order to be successful. In one of the subsequent trainings that we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about posture. We're going to talk about building the business and having the right posture. We're going to talk about edification. We're going to talk about major foundational things that I know are going to help some people, few people, to really become diamonds here at Immeri. So the first checker is that they have to be teachable, coachable, and trainable. Okay? The number 2 is that they have to be self-starters. Are those people willing to go out and do something? Are they calling you instead of you chasing them? One of the things that I love when I was talking to Ronald, he was talking about he would expose to people and he would say, I'd get back to you tomorrow. And he would wait to see if they would reach back to him and say, hey, you told me that you were going to send me information today. Where is the information? That's a good way. You want them doing that. That's how you can tell that they're a self-starter. You see, you want someone who is texting you or sending you a message or whatever. It means that they are actually ready to get with you, and they're saying that they're ready. So I have on my list, people that have been categorized in this way. So for me, I categorize my list. So for me, I already have ready to go. I've already set up like my calendar when I'm sharing the opportunity. And so these are the people that I want. I want people that would be just like me. That would be able to say, you know what, I am doing this, I am doing that, I am ready, I am moving, I'm inviting people to the Zoom. I'm ready to invite a private video. I'm ready to launch my business. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do that. Not people that I'm now scheduling things for, if that makes sense. Okay. And so that's the kind of person that is somebody who is being a self-starter. And if you work this 4-checker system right, and you work our 5-step system right, the system will do all of the heavy lifting for you. You've heard me say that so many times before. And so that's why we call it a system. We typically say that a system stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. So now what I'm trying to do is to help you to now systematize your efforts so that you can maximize the benefits of what we're going to be doing here and what we're doing here at Immeri. So are they self-starters? Do you have to really push them to come to this training, which is something that they need? Do you have to really push them to be on the calls? Again, something that they need. So here's a very, very important nugget. You want to write this down. You have to be honest with yourself. My coach and one of my former coaches and mentors in this business in the beginning, he told me to be honest with myself, because in the beginning, I was so glad to just sponsor someone, just to bring them in, that I was just overly excited. I was early on that I just got them. I realized that this is more for them than it is for me. And so I don't look for people, I don't look at people like they're a dollar sign over their head. I don't. You know, as Ronald would know, I don't look at people as a dollar sign over their head. In the beginning, I did. In the beginning, it was like, okay, what are my efforts going to now lend back to me? And at that time, I was just glad to get people in the sign-up bonus. Many people in Immeri are still at that point. Many people in Immeri are still at that point. But now, don't look at people as just a sign-up bonus. When you first sponsor a person, that is just getting them in. The beginning is moving them along. There's where something that my former mentors taught me. He used to say, you get them in, you keep them in, and you move them along. But I'm looking for the right people to move along. And they have to be self-starters, okay? Number 3 is, do they have influence? Do they have influence? Meaning that, do they have the ability to call others and they will be willing to listen to them in order to get the information and put those people into a pipeline of exposure? Do they have the influence that maybe if they call a person, just based on their name alone, just based on their reputation that they've been able to have over the years, are people ready to get started just because they believe in them? My personal philosophy has been, don't get the sheep, get the shepherd. Don't get the sheep, get the shepherd. So what do I mean by that? You see, a shepherd tends to the sheep, and the sheep know the voice of the shepherd. They typically follow the shepherd. And so I understand that this is how it works. I don't go up against it. This is just how it works. And so the shepherd has more influence. A lot of the time, we spend more time chasing the sheep than doing what we can in order to find the shepherd. And so even in the digital marketing, many of you know, you would have heard me say that we do targeted leads, targeted ads in order to find people that match this criteria. They're shepherds. The shepherds are already coachable, teachable, trainable, and they are self-starters. And they have the right influence over the groups that they're typically involved in, like Stefania, involved in a whole bunch of different organizations, professional organizations. And so I got really, really good and grew myself in the digital marketing because I didn't know many people in Africa. I had to grow myself. But what allowed me to do that is my why. My why is what drove me to become the type of person that would be able to attract and find the right quality of people. It wasn't easy to develop into this person. It took about 6 months, but I kept going and kept bumping my head, kept going through the process, and always stayed within the system. They used to call me in the former company that I was in, they used to call me a textbook leader, a man who sticks to the fundamentals, and I'm still like that today. I don't try to be fancy because these principle-based teachings that I'm giving you right now is what works. It's duplicable. Some people say, I've been in this industry a long, long time, and I hear this over and over again. And the reason is because it works. It absolutely works. And that's why would you want to change what is working? And so these first three in the four-checker system for me are non-negotiable. These are the things I look for in making a decision to work with specific people. So I work with specific people because of these first three of the four checkers. Okay. And number four is, do they have the financial ability to get started? Do they have the financial ability to get started? What part of the program can they get started at? What pack can they get started at? It's amazing that in many cases in our great industry, many people will find more value in buying an expensive cell phone or buying a purse or buying something instead of getting started in an opportunity at this low cost, but has such a high income potential. And some people are just not willing to be exposed, to what can really set them free. One thing that I can tell you about our industry of direct sales or network marketing is that this industry will expose who you really are. You can't hide behind a big desk and a big chair, put two little chairs and call yourself a leader here. You're going to have to develop some skills. And so I've met some people, when I met them, they looked good, they smelled good, they talked good, but they couldn't lead themselves. And so, I've seen that. And so I'm not knocking up, beating up on people, but sometimes you're going to meet people who introduce themselves, but that really just introduce their representative who represents who they really are. So there's something that I say often: the successful people dominate on the listening, unsuccessful people dominate the talking. And that's something that I live by too. Okay, so we're going to go a little faster now. So these are the elements of the four-checker system. Are they coachable and teachable and trainable? Are they self-starters? Are they willing to do the work even without you having to push them towards their own goals? Do they have influence? Remember that it is always best to get the shepherd and not chase the sheep. And also, do they have the financial ability to get started? Now, with this last one, sometimes finances can be a temporary challenge at some point in time for some people, because when I got started at Immeri, I could tell you it wasn't the perfect time. And I know that many people who were in my financial situation, they were willing to be coached, they were self-starters, they may have had influence, but just maybe fallen on that point of time in life when money is scarce. And so they have to at least be willing to go and find the money. So financial ability to get started isn't the most important, but it is important. And so you make sure that you go and you put a list together and you look for the four checkers first, because those people, and I'll tell you right now, those people that you think will do it, they probably won't. And the people that you think won't do it, they probably will. And that's just very important information. Okay, so just go through the four checkers first. All right, guys. So here are some steps that I want you to go by. We're going to set you up to win big. So these are some of the things that I want you to do. All of you that can hear my voice, whether, like I said, live or via the recording that I will be sharing with some people, this is what I want you to do. So here are some steps that I want you to go by. We're going to set you up, like I said. So you won't even have to think about your success. You're just going to need to do the right activity, and also and you will be able to move forward really fast. And so you won't be able to confuse activity with accomplishment. Some people think that because they are busy doing all these different things that they're accomplishing something. No, absolutely not. The result will be in the printout. When you look in your back office, how much money are you making in Immeri? That's what makes the difference. It's not how many exposures that you're doing without tracking them, without qualifying people. No, the result is going to be in the printout. So based on these steps that I'm about to give you, here are some steps that I want you to follow. Number one is to when you make your list, don't Don't prejudge. Make a list, but don't prejudge. Prejudging is making a list and thinking, oh, he will do it, or she'll do it, or he'll be good, or she'll be good, or something like that. No, I don't want you to do that. That's not your job. You just take your phone, you go from A to Z, you jot down the names, you don't prejudge, because you will be so surprised. Atu is looking for an opportunity right now. You'll be so surprised. Atu will want to have more control over their life. Who will want to have more lifestyle? You'll be so surprised that people you thought didn't have the money and the wherewithal to get started, they are so hungry that they're just looking for somebody to come along. And if you've just given them a call, because you prejudge, you miss them. And so don't prejudge, just expose. Your job is not to make a decision for them. Your job is just to go through this process. Put them through the pipeline, your 4-checker system. Call the strongest ones first that meet your criteria, your 4-checker, and then go through the process of exposure. Categorize the list. Put the name, put the number, and the occupation down. You do this for yourself, and sometimes you do it for your coach. Like I did this with Stefania, because your coach, based on their experience as well, they will know how to handle them. And so how to expose them to the opportunity may be based on who they are, what they do for a living. The reason why you categorize your list is you put the name, you put the number, you put the occupation there. And you're going to go through your 4-checker system. You want to have your information in order. And also you want to be able to decide your method of exposure, which is the next step. But when you go through the process, I realize that it matters how and where you expose certain people. Some people need to have a one-on-one conversation, a private Zoom, or a type of informal presentation. Like I did an informal presentation with Ronald. I never did the actual full presentation. I showed him the video. And so some people, you give them a general information, you just go through a conversation with them, and they will be able to see the picture. Okay, I believe I did that with Emmanuel as well. All right. And so sometimes you need to put some people in a private Zoom, a type of informal setting, because you have to speak their language. You have to talk the way that they talk. You have to talk and see the world the way they see it. So sometimes you could put some people in a small group. Sometimes you bring them to the open Zoom presentation. Some people you have a one-on-one. So you decide the method of exposure. So while you're talking to your prospects, you already have a game plan as to how you're going to expose them to the opportunity. The next thing is to get mentally prepared to go through the process. You have to start to know your averages. One thing I can tell you is this: I always know my averages. The averages are such that you can connect 20 or 30% of the time. Where a big player in this industry, they connect 20 to 30% of the time. And if it's also very, very rare that someone is able to get someone to sign up every single time. It's very, very rare, even if they have influence. And so you have to get mentally prepared. That is just the law of averages. You have to know that you can win if you can just go through the numbers. You see, there's a saying that what you lack in skill, you make up in numbers. There are many people that I'm working with right now that they share the opportunity with a few people, they got a few no's and they quit. They didn't even get to an average to say, okay, I got 1 out of 10, or I got 2 out of 10, or I got 2 out of 20, or I got 2 out of 30. They never got to that stage. And so you have to know that you can win if you could just go through the numbers. Again, what you lack in skill, you will make up in numbers. I'm telling you, it works to this day. I can tell you from the digital marketing, I was measuring my numbers all the time. I was measuring my numbers all the time. So I'm able now to bat of an average now of 3 out of 10. So I know that out of every 10 people that I'm talking to that I pass through the process, that I know that somewhere inside of there, I'm going to get 3 brand new people. So let me give you some hope that I can give from my own personal experience. Some of you on this call are even better than me. You can get 3, 4, or 5 out of 10, and that's great. But do better. Don't let a good life spoil a great life. But I had to get mentally prepared that I have to go through more people in order to be able to find the ones that I wanted, because nobody knew me. The people that I was talking to in Africa, they didn't know who Brian Louis was. There was no social proof of any success. And so I was willing to do this because, number one, I had the right why. And I was willing to do it because of that burning desire of my why. No matter what took place, in my heart of hearts, I was going to win. So you have to develop that. I know that we're in the right vehicle. I know that we have the right people. I know that we have the right products. I know we have the right environment. But you have to have the will to make a difference. And so that is really your power. You have to be willing to go through those no's mentally. And you have to decide that you're going to now come up to your law of averages. Okay? So at least, but not at least, but at least the final step is to take massive action. Massive, massive action. You have to go for your goals. I can tell you, I spent more money than I made in Immeri. And I made some money in Immeri to the level that I'm at right now without any influence, with the digital marketing, with trying to find people, learning and growing that whole process of learning how to build in a vacuum without any sphere of influence. But I spent more money than I made in Immeri so far. But I was willing to do that, because I was taking massive action. You have to take massive action. You can't play it small. It's not good enough. You hear me talking about that all the time. It's not good enough that you're not making money in Immeri. It's not good enough. So the final step is to take massive action. You have to go for your goals like you've never gone for them before. Once you've gotten yourself organized and you've done all of the things that I've talked about today, then you can go out and really, really build something by taking massive action. And that massive action is something that can propel you to the levels and the peaks that you've never ever seen before, never even dreamed possible. So far in this industry, in the 3 companies that I've been part of, Immeri being a little bit different because I came in under very, very different circumstances, but I was able to launch the business. And I want you to be able to go in and launch your business. Even if you're in Immeri now, take massive action. For all of you that can hear my voice, do the things that I'm saying, that I'm suggesting that you do, and just do it. So your assignment is to make a list right now. Start over like you're starting brand new. Even if you're brand new, and you're yet to really launch the business, you make a list right now, 50 to 100 people. Do this for your prospects and for your customers. Make a list of people so that you can expose those people to the business and follow the steps that I've shown you today. Like I said, I'm setting you up to win right now. I'm setting you up so that you can win for the long haul. Right now, I'm working so hard in the background in order for us to be able to launch a little bit closer to where I am here. But I'm continuing to work and find people in Africa. But I'm just getting ready to launch in a major, major way. So I'm setting you up to do exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm setting you up to win and win big for a long haul. I'm not setting you up to become a director. I'm setting you up to become a diamond. Do it now. But do it right now. Take some time, get organized, do the things that I've been talking about. So I'm giving you this assignment in order for you to go out there and win big, big, big in 2021. All right, guys. So I hope this training gave you some good information. So I want to know, are you the next diamond? Are you the first diamond in Immeri? Are you going to do the things that I've shared with you today? The few of you that have shown up, the ones that have shown up here are the ones that are going to make a difference in their life. This happens in every company. At every stage of your growth, you're going to find that people are going to fall off, and it's okay. People get to their own levels of success that they see for themselves. People quit things all the time. But for all of you that are here right now, all of you that can hear my voice, all of you that are here right now, and all of you that will be hearing the recording, those of you that have asked that I send the recording, are you going to do the things to become a diamond? Everything that I've shared with you, this is Eagle School. It's not chicken school, it's Eagle School. So for some people, this would have been information that's it's too long, it's too much information. I don't like this, it's not exciting me enough. But for some people, it's going to be exactly what they needed in order to go to the next level. And so if this was of value to you, I want you to let me know. Let me just pull up the chat. Let me just take a look here. If it was of value to you, yes, Emmanuel, I know that it can happen for you. You're an amazing, amazing fort checker. You're an amazing, amazing fort checker. And I know that it can happen for you. It's just a matter of getting focused. It's just a matter of getting really, really in alignment. Really, really getting in alignment. Ronald, you're absolutely right. People are watching. They are. Cyril, find it hard to meet strangers and talk about business. It's something you have to work through, Cyril. You just have to work through it. But the people are in your phone already. For you who is in Nigeria, your fortune is right there in your phone. And so we can help you to be able to work through that. Okay, Mr. Johnson, I'm happy that you got some value from this. Okay, and Cyril talking about teachability and coachability index. That's it. That's it. You're absolutely right. Willingness to learn by willingness to take action. You're absolutely right. It's time to take action. It's time to take action. Okay, so I'm very, very happy that you guys are that you guys were here. Champions, absolute diamonds. This call, I remember that there was one call, one particular call, one call that I had heard on a Sunday. And I thank God that I was on that call. That was the call that propelled me to take steps towards becoming a diamond in my very, very first company. One call. It was like a domino effect of something happened on that one call. I hope that this was the call that made it happen for you. Okay? Certainly, Mr. Johnson, your diamond is so done. I'm working so hard right now, up to very, very late last night, early this morning, in the midst of putting together this training. I was working on things for us to be able to really, really participate. Absolutely, Emmanuel, there's no doubt that you'd be diamond. Nedu, absolutely. All right, guys. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for coming. And of course, we will be back on Saturday. We're going to have another training session. I'm going to try and get another trainer to be able to do some training. We're going to show the opportunity. So do the exercise, and you can bring some of your prospects to that call on Saturday. We're going to show the plan, and we're going to do some baseline training that will help people to be able to start taking actions towards their dreams. All right, guys. And so as I always say, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And so I want to encourage you to keep on dreaming and keep on believing, because the best is absolutely yet to be. Have a great, great evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll see you guys at our next call on Saturday. Good night.